with 7 siblings meant limiting any purchases outside of basic household needs for the family. But if you're anything like me, you hate being told no. Absolutely hate it. So as a young kid, I hated being told no. I couldn't have that special snack when we were out shopping, or that we couldn't afford the latest BlackBerry phone with the keyboard. Remember those? So naturally, I did what many low-income kids do. I found a way to bring in my own money. I'd create YouTube videos and websites for upcoming musicians, making maybe $200 a month. It wasn't until college that I realized I'm an entrepreneur. One day as I'm sitting in class, my college professor asked me, "Have you ever sold something?" I nodded and said yes. When I said yes, I wasn't expecting the next 5 words that came from his mouth. He stated, "Precious, you are an entrepreneur." I took a few seconds to process the statement before I replied, "It's only a hobby, nothing that I take serious." He replied again, "Precious, you are an entrepreneur." At this point, I generated thousands of dollars as a paid YouTube partner since middle school. It wasn't until that moment that I was made aware that I'm an entrepreneur. I could identify as one. And I'd been surrounded by other entrepreneurs my entire life. And yet, up until college, no one had referred to me as one. As a society, we fail to recognize entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is simply a person that creates something of value for someone else. That's it. Instead, we associate the term entrepreneurship with big, flashy ideas out in New York and Silicon Valley. This mindset leads us to overlook the entrepreneurs right in our very communities. And like myself, fail to self-identify as entrepreneurs because we don't wear fancy suits or attend expensive conferences or speak savvy startup language like value proposition and total addressable market. When entrepreneurs go overlooked, we fail to provide their companies with the resources they need to survive and thrive, especially in the early stages when the foundation is being set. At the age of 23, I was hired as the director of an accelerator program where we work directly with early stage entrepreneurs across the state of Minnesota to launch and grow their businesses. When I took this role, I knew it'd be a challenge to find entrepreneurs outside of major metro cities and in small towns. Not because they aren't in these locations, but for the reasons we just discussed. They aren't self-identifying as entrepreneurs, and the community doesn't see them as entrepreneurs as well. The idea of an accelerator program or pitching to investors probably never even crossed their minds. So to find these entrepreneurs, I'd have to get creative. I started reaching out to local economic development corporations, small business development centers, colleges, and universities. I'd ask them for referrals to rock stars in the community, change makers looking to do more, college students with great potential, business leaders with a simple idea. Soon I reached out to over 500 entrepreneurs and people with just an idea across the state of Minnesota. We had everyone from college professors to software developers to former vice presidents of Fortune 1000 companies and even a college student who came to the US as a refugee. They presented ideas like a technology that detects disease cells in humans, a platform that connects hunters to private landowners, and a recipe for the most juicy liquor-infused beef jerky that you'll ever taste. But there was one group that really intrigued me, a trio of teachers who expressed their frustrations with the current state of professional development for K-12 teachers. At the end of our conversation, one of the teachers stated, "We have a solution for this problem, but we're just educators. We don't have business backgrounds. This world is completely new to us. We simply don't know where to start." Just 6 months later, after working with our team, they had a fully functioning platform, had began generating revenue, and had partnered with one of the largest leadership and learning associations for teachers in the state of Minnesota. That is the power of mentorship. According to research done by UPS, Mentorship significantly reduces the risk of business failure for business owners and increases the chances that the business will survive its first 5 years. And equally important to mentoring these entrepreneurs at an early stage is funding them as well. However, we're seeing a lack of early stage investors. The founder of a venture capitalist firm stated that early stage entrepreneurs that connect with angel investors, accelerators, and incubators are more likely to receive investment dollars. That statement resonates with a college student I mentioned as well. He created a platform based on his lived experience of feeling disconnected from his teachers in the classroom. The platform helps teachers build meaningful engagement and create inclusive learning environments. When I first met this college student last year, he was running short on cash and had no way to continue funding his business. After working with our team on how to pitch to investors, he's already had nearly $50,000 worth of investment dollars come from investors. Now, of course, maybe when you hear teacher or you hear the term college student, you don't think of entrepreneur. The teachers surely didn't associate and self-identify as as entrepreneurs when I first met with them for coffee last year. But that's the problem, and that's why we have to associate a different term with entrepreneurship and expand our idea and interpretation of what entrepreneurship is, so we can connect these entrepreneurs with the right resources at the right time. Here's another example. 2 years ago, 13-year-old Jaquan Faulkner was reported for operating a hot dog stand without a license. Of course, the media didn't see him as an entrepreneur, but we now know that's exactly what he is. But here's the cool thing about it. Instead of shutting him down, the health department pitched in to pay the required $87 for Jaquan. That's all it took to keep his business afloat. Just $87, and this kid was able to continue his business. It's since become a local landmark and gained national attention. Just like myself, Jaquan simply wanted to bring in extra cash and didn't know about the licenses required to operate a hot dog stand in his own community. What if instead of punishing people like Jaquan and killing their dreams, we supported them, we mentored them, and we funded them? You may not think of yourself as a mentor, just like I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur. You don't have to generate millions of dollars in revenue or have decades of executive level leadership at a major company. Of course, there are many amazing mentors with these exact characteristics. However, in my role, some of the brightest rockstar mentors that I've recruited are everyday people, just like you and I. They work 9 to 5s. They stop at Starbucks for coffee, even when they're running late. They go into the office and sit behind a desk. Well, with everything virtual right now, they're probably not in the office, but you get what I mean. Like our mentors, I'm sure you know a lot about something, anything. You're an expert in your field, and you have great insights into your industry. Having lots of knowledge and being willing to share that knowledge with someone else is part of what makes a great mentor. Mentorship helps novice entrepreneurs to develop through learning and gaining insights from seasoned entrepreneurs, business leaders, as well as industry experts. I encourage you to volunteer to mentor a budding entrepreneur. You never know how one conversation can change their entire business or keep their dreams alive. Today, it's easier than ever for us to become entrepreneurs. As a community, we have to come together to support this new wave of entrepreneurship and rethink who we're defining as entrepreneurs. Not only when they're generating millions of dollars or they're the next big thing out in Silicon Valley or New York, but in the early stages when they're just trying to figure shit out, get things done, survive the day when they feel like giving up because nothing is going their way. Every day is a struggle for these entrepreneurs, and we have to come together to support them. Together, we can come together and support the entrepreneurs in our very communities, right in our backyards. And maybe after hearing this talk today, we inspire the entrepreneur that you see every day looking in the mirror. Thank you.